Welcome to Meaningful Mondays with the Community Foundation of Middlesex County, where we only know good people who do great things in our community. Whether you are a volunteer, a donor, or a nonprofit organization, each episode of Meaningful Mondays will celebrate you, our friends and neighbors who have a deep passion for and commitment to improving the quality of life for all in Middlesex County. So let's kick off the week with great conversations with remarkable people, businesses, and nonprofits making a difference right in our own backyard. Well, welcome to Meaningful Mondays, everyone. You know, in Middlesex County, we only know good people who do great things, and I'm so honored and pleased to have David Glidden with us, who is the CEO of Liberty Bank. David, thank you so much for taking time to share your time, number one, your expertise, and I have to say, your partnership with the Community Foundation of Middlesex County. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Cynthia, and thanks for having me. We have a great partnership with the Community Foundation, and I really appreciate everything you do for the community, and I appreciate this opportunity to have a chat with you. So looking forward
back at you. And I will tell you what, and I really want to brag about one of your key employees, Toril Mayer. She is the best. Not that rest of your team isn't, but Toril is such a pleasure to work with, and we've learned so much from her, and hopefully, you know, it's a give and take. And so we do appreciate working with her.
No, Toril is absolutely terrific. I'm very blessed, and I have 800 plus teammates, and they're all terrific, and all of them would concur with your assessment of Toril. She's a critical part of the leadership team here at Liberty Bank, and not just as the executive director of our foundation. She's just really a critical member of our leadership team.
She really is, and I'm not going to leave out Phaedra because we are going to clone her.
We're trying. I've been trying for a while, but yeah, I'm not sure how far I would last during a week without Phaedra. So I couldn't agree with you more.
I know. So I did my research. I really looked up you. I looked up the bank. There are so many accolades that come your way and come the bank's way. So since you've been here for what, 3 years now?
No, it's a little over 5 years now.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Time flies when you're in. So in the 5 years, if I read correctly, you really, when you came, wanted to focus on the technology aspect of banking. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. You know, when I was fortunate enough to be approached by the board of directors on this CEO opportunity for Liberty Bank, you know, I've had a pretty long banking career in New England, so I certainly knew of Liberty Bank, and it had a very positive perception of the bank. I had a great reputation. They've been around a long time. They're a mutual bank, which was after 30 plus years working for publicly traded companies, where you're driven by your primary stakeholder, which is your shareholder. I was really attracted to the mutual banking model, where we're owned by our customers, and it really allows you to take a longer strategic planning look at the business and not be driven like a lot of, and there's nothing wrong with it, but like a lot of public companies that have to report quarterly earnings and get very much driven by the expectations of the shareholders, and that's how it should be, because they are the owners of those public companies. Being a mutual bank, we don't have to face that because our owners are our customers. So when I was really approaching the opportunity, what really attracted to me was Liberty was a good size, large community bank, $4+ billion in assets. But I think they had kind of gotten, like a lot of banks, things move so fast in banking and financial services now, but in technology overall and fintech, and that they had gotten a little bit behind the curve on technology. So when I accepted the position and came in and really did my initial assessment, I really realized that we really needed to get our shoulder and our investment dollars behind upgrading our technology. Today we're about an $8+ billion bank. So we're, the oldest and largest mutual bank left in the country. So we tend to compete with our local community banks, which are great banks. and great competitors, but we also compete with the larger money center banks. So you really have to have your technology, your digital, your fintech, your applications really need to be up to snuff because you're getting compared against the larger money center banks that have a ton of resources that they've been putting in. So the real focus was from a customer's perspective first, how do we up our digital, our online banking, our mobile banking, all of the types of things that create a better client experience.
Well, you said something at the very beginning, the larger institutions are owned by the shareholders, but I would say that you are owned by community, which, certainly I think makes a difference.
Yeah.
And I also am seeing, quite honestly, from the Community Foundation standpoint, that local is becoming more and more and more important. And people want to feel that they're cared for and not really just a number and a check in, somebody's checkbox.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, I think, banking's always been a relationship business, and obviously it's gone through a tremendous amount of change, tremendous amount of consolidation over the past 25 years. And, my background, previously I had spent, 25 years at TD Bank in various executive roles all over New England. And in some of the best, smartest people, still great friends today, a great company. And they really try to focus on delivering their services and products in a local fashion. But when you're in a large institution like that, it gets really, really difficult to do. So it has nothing to do. I'll always be a proud alumni of TD Bank. And the other money center banks do great, tremendous things for our economy, for our communities. But it does get harder and harder to really deliver that local service where people feel it. And I think one of the advantages that Liberty has and had that I saw coming in here is when you look at kind of the banking community, the landscape, so to speak, I use the analogy of a barbell. You have a lot of the larger banks down one end of the barbell, and they're great. They're huge money centers. They can do tremendous amount of things, and they do tremendous things. And then on the other end of the barbell, you have here in Connecticut, 30 plus tremendous local banks that do a tremendous job in their communities, supporting them. Many of them are mutual, but they're all true community banks that deliver local service. We're that kind of animal in the middle of the barbell at $8+ billion. We've been around for a long time. So, we have the advantage, and I saw immediately if I got our technology up to where it really needed to be, and I brought in the right level of talent, that we would have an opportunity from a strategy standpoint to really out-local the national banks and out-national the local banks because of our size and capacity. And really that's been my focus since I've got here, of bringing in the right kind of talent, experienced talent, and supporting that and continuing to invest in the technology that really delivers what our clients, because they want a local feel and a local relationship, but they still want, and they should, all the bells and whistles that a large money center can give them.
But, and I love the analogy of, you're the local national, I won't paraphrase it because I won't get it right, but the barbell and you're in the middle of the pack. But the culture to me is so critical. And let's segue to Be Community Kind is your logo, and we know that and we see it all the time. So I would say that it's your mantra, David, because I've read your bio and I know how many things you volunteer for, so we appreciate that. But the Be Community Kind theme runs through your entire team. We see your team everywhere. So from your leadership position, this is almost like leadership 101, lessons learned about being community kind. What would you tell every other business owner about that and how that can help their business?
Yeah, great point. And the first thing you said is, I was fortunate in getting here and coming to a company like Liberty Bank that already had a tremendous culture and had a great culture amongst our teammates. And that was one of the big attractions because I'm a real big culture guy. I believe, one of my primary jobs as leader of this organization, I believe in the shadow of the leader, that you have to kind of exemplify that and really, as much as I'm a CEO, really a kind of functional job, I think one of my primary things is really, CCO, Chief Cultural Officer. That's what I focus on time and time again. And this place had a great culture. When I got here, as we kind of took a look around things and kind of changed our kind of business strategies about where we were going to go, it also came a time for kind of a rebranding of the bank. And I would landed on Be Community Kind because I really thought that represented what the institution has been and what I really wanted to have a role in continuing it to really be, like you said, a real asset of the community. And just what you said. So, we talk about, our tagline is, hashtag Be Community Kind. But it's not just a tagline around here. Like everybody here, all 800 plus of my teammates believe that's who we are. And that's why I landed on that after, myself and our marketing team, and our various advertising and marketing agencies that we work with. We looked at hundreds, if not thousands of kind of taglines. And I just really, the Be Community Kind really just hit home with me. At that point, I had been here in the Middlesex community for a couple of years that really became part of my home. I've had the benefit, I've been all over the country. I've been in so many different communities, and there's so many that are wonderful. But from day one, when I got here, this place felt like home to me. It felt different. I knew I was going to end my career here. I knew my family was going to set deep roots here. And that really has to do with, I think our Be Community Kind works so well because that's what this community is all about. It's not just Liberty Bank doing that. I'm a big believer in giving back as we all should. And I'm speaking to the person who's in the Webster Dictionary next to giving back right now as we speak. But, I just think it's so important that culturally it's driven down through the organization. And we just really kind of believe that Be Community Kind. And I landed on that because, kindness matters and kindness starts with us. And when I landed on that a couple of years ago, think of how divisive things were. So it was kind of the right message of who we were, and we're part of Middlesex County. We'll be here 200 years. This bank would not have been successful without Middlesex County and these communities. So it really was who we are, who we were, and who we want to be. But it's like anything else, you got to walk the talk. You have to walk the talk. Everybody's 4-panel pamphlet says basically the same thing, catchy phrases aside, but then it's how do you really execute on that? Do you really believe it? Is it in your DNA as a company and a culture? And I think it is here at Liberty Bank. And, that's why I couldn't have been more pleased and feel fortunate to gotten the leadership role here.
Well, and we're fortunate to have you in the community. And I will say that I have traveled in places that I've worked before. I had the opportunity to travel and land in spots in the US and abroad that I never thought I would be. But I will tell you, this community is very, very special. It must be in the Connecticut River water. It's got to be,
I think it is. I was born on the Connecticut River, pretty
there
close.
you go.
Way up there in over the border in Massachusetts, in a town called Holyoke, Mass. So I agree with you. I think there's something in the Connecticut River in the soil, and there certainly is in the Connecticut River Valley people.
They really mean it. Once you get to know them, they'll tell you like it is in a tactful way. And really in a tactful way. And people here understand reality and understand real people and get real culture. They also, and I was talking to one of your board of director members today, who is a former board member of ours, they get phonies too. So yeah, they really do. So how do you find the time to be community kind with your role? Not only are you on the board of directors of the Community Foundation, and I'll ask you about that in a minute, but I know you're also on the board of the Connecticut Science Center. I know you have been devoted to the American Cancer Society, and I'm sure I've left out a gazillion things that you do for the community. How do you find the time to do that? You're
I
right.
try to, Cynthia, as you know, I don't always find the time, but I try to. But no, I think I was very fortunate. Like I just mentioned, I grew up not that far from here, really. About an hour north in Holyoke, Massachusetts, and typical middle class, family, and was really blessed with great parents and a great family. And they had taught me very much early on, that they were very, very community orientated, very involved. So I kind of grew up with that. My parents were always involved, and that naturally kind of dragged us kids along. And really with my faith and all the rest of it, it really, when I talk about it today in the sense of a banker, I'm always looking at financial numbers and, return on investment or return over assets. What you really find out is when you get involved and you give back to those less fortunate than you, whatever you give, if it's of your treasury of money or if it's of your time and volunteerism, what I've ultimately found is whatever you give back to people in areas that are less fortunate than you get much more in return. So, I actually look at it in a certain sense of, it's kind of a little bit it's a good thing. It's a little bit selfish thing to do. Like I feel a great return. I feel like I'm doing something positive, and I get a lot out of it. So, part of this goes with this job. You're leading a big community bank across, it's in a couple states, and organizations and communities look to banks to partner and for financial resources and stuff like. So, I've been very fortunate. It's a part of the job that I've loved. That I've kind of been in this arena where all these things are kind of available to be able to get involved with from my standpoint. So, it's like anything, if you want to get something done, you'll find the time to do it. And, again, back to the point of a certain aspect of looking at it through a Liberty Bank lens of, we're not a national or international bank. We're here, right? So the better these areas do, the better the communities do, the better the people in the communities do, the better we will do. So, not only is it the right thing to do to give back to those less fortunate, it's in our charter as a mutual bank. That's what we should be doing, right? But it is also the right thing to do for the communities and the business, because when they all benefit, the bank benefits.
And the return on investment for all the things you just described can't be put into a spreadsheet. It just,
No.
but you're building a home, a wonderful place for people to live as they from cradle to elderly. So
Yeah.
thank you for that. So because we are so proud to be your partner, I'm going to ask one question about the Community Foundation. So have you learned anything since you've been on the board that you didn't know about us before? Because I know your team is really ingrained with us, but just
Yeah.
curious.
No, I have, Cynthia, and thank you for that question. Yeah, and certainly, coming in here, I was aware of the Community Foundation and the long partnership that our organizations have enjoyed. So I was certainly aware of it and got to know you through those initial years of, from the Community Foundation's great activities with the banks and the things we partnered on, all the rest. Coming on as I came on the Community Foundation board, what struck me that I learned that I didn't really realize was I didn't realize the breadth of the impact that the Community Foundation has in our communities. And that's a wonderful thing, and you guys for all those years are to be congratulated for that. But I think I probably wrongfully or myopically was kind of looking at the Community Foundation just through the Liberty Bank or the Liberty Bank Foundation lens. And so it wasn't until I got on the board and then saw the tremendous people on the board and their absolute commitment to doing the right things in these communities, and really the kind of the swath and the width of the impact that you guys make in the foundation makes in all of these communities was really what kind of jumped out at me at first coming on the board and kind of, being a little bit more on the inside of the community foundation and seeing all the impacts that you're making.
Well, thank you for that. And so I hope everybody's watching understands that I didn't prompt David to say that. I
She
really,
did not.
I
She
really,
did.
I really appreciate that. But one of the proudest things that has happened with our partnership this year is the Buddy Bench program. And I wonder if you could take a moment because we're so thrilled about your partnership on rebooting the Buddy Bench program. And I think it says it all from your commercials with the bench to be community kind to really what the Buddy Bench stands for. So if you could just in a few words tell me what that has meant to your team, who was wonderful to work with, by the way, um, on that whole project with Middlesex Health, but what that has it had an impact on your team knowing what you've done?
Yes, it really hasn't had an impact on me. I'll speak for, I can speak directly for one teammate, me. And I think, as you know, I was not really aware of the Buddy Bench program. And Liberty Bank has been a longtime supporter of the Interfaith Golf Tournament with our good friend and mutual David Director, who's on our board, and I know has been a huge supporter and force behind the Community Foundation. And it wasn't until that tournament and after the tournament that they were talking, about Connor and the bench. And then it really kind of struck me. Obviously, the story of parents losing tragically such a wonderful young man in a car accident it was just gut wrenching and heart tugging. So obviously, that got my attention. And then when I saw what they were doing, father of building benches and stuff. Obviously, it struck a chord because, for the previous year or year and a half, we in our Be Community Kind tagline, it ultimately landed again on the bench and we really kind of landed on that, outside of the Buddy Bench, we landed on that because, Be Community Kind, a bench is where communities come together. And it's kind of a symbol of that. So, that really kind of became part of who Liberty was from our brand and how we were kind of marketing ourselves and who we thought we were. And then all of a sudden to see, boom, the Buddy Bench was, just immediately became compelling. I think, as you remember, right there and then I said, okay, we're going to get very involved and help this because, again, the Buddy Bench, and you look at kind of, our bench and, is signifying community, it's a natural partnership. So, and I know I can speak because, all of our teammates have been thrilled and are super excited that we're now helping out in this initiative, which really, really from a value standpoint and a symbol standpoint aligns perfectly with where Liberty Bank is and wants to be seen.
It's absolutely perfect. And I'm going to brag about you because not only did you not know about the Buddy Bench until that day at Interfaith Golf Tournament, but you stepped right up and donated to the Parents Fund here at the Community Foundation, which in turn is helping young people in East Haddam and the surrounding area. So that is, be community kind at its best.
Well, oh, thank you. And that's how, that's what we should be doing. And to see an initiative like this that is being undertaken with, the parents and the Community Foundation and in memory of Connor, it was immediate that we said, look, we need to be part of this and we need to help them out and help further this initiative any which way we can. And that's with, volunteerism, with money, however we can be supportive of it. I think it's a wonderful initiative, and again, it aligns perfectly with what Liberty Bank is trying to do on a community basis.
Well, before I let you go, I do want to give a shout out to the other partners in that Buddy Bench project. So not only Liberty Bank stepped up to the plate, and it was a phone call from one of your teammates, Jen Sprague, who rebooted the whole thing. then the connection of the dots to the interfaith guys and gals.
Yeah.
And then Rossi Lumber, the Rossi group, donated the lumber. And then, of course, Ian Young and Chrisanne Meany, the parents who Ian built the benches, but it's all this wonderful coalescing around just kindness at its best.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more, and it was a pleasure and an honor to meet Connor's parents at the Middlesex Hospital, where the bench was dedicated last week or the week before. My weeks tend to blend together. Yeah, just wonderful people. Again, my heart goes out to them losing such a wonderful child like Connor. Every parent's worst nightmare, but I also tip my hat to them on how they're honoring his legacy with such a positive initiative of the Buddy Bench. Not easy, but it really shows what kind of people they are.
Well, I thank you for, 1, your partnership, David, 2, for being community kind, 3, for having such wonderful teammates that partner with us. So after all that, what are you looking forward to in the next couple of months? I've kept you way longer than you probably thought.
No, never, Cynthia. Well, I think like a lot of people, I'm looking forward to the holiday season. Hopefully everybody had a good Thanksgiving, but as everybody races to the year end of 12/31, looking forward to a lot of time with family and friends, and really hopeful that we in communities and really as a country take this opportunity to kind of come together more. I think you look at what the Buddy Bench initiative signifies. You look at what our bench signifies, our brand of be community kind. Kindness matters, and kindness starts with each one of us. What I'm really looking forward to and hopeful is that we can have more kindness and more conversations and more community things together over the next coming months. And then certainly as we get into 2025, I'll be very much looking forward to our Liberty Bank's 200th year anniversary, which will probably be celebrating in various forms and functions throughout the year. But on May 4th, 1825, this bank was established. So in May 4th of 2025, this company, we're the 5th oldest bank in the country.
Oh, wow.
There's not a lot of companies that last 200 years. So again, thank you so much for your earlier compliments about me. But I would tell you, I'm the fortunate guy that gets to sit in room 1 with 800 incredible teammates that really are the ones, making the impact in our communities. So that's what I'm really looking forward to.
Well, there's a reason that you've survived for 200 years, because it's be community kind. And thank you for keeping that culture going. And I would say you threw that pebble into the pond, and the ripple effect of kindness is continuing. So thank you, David, so much for being here. It's really—
Thank you, Cynthia. And before I start, thanks for the time. I always love chatting with you. But, I would be remiss if I didn't, on behalf of Liberty Bank and my 800 plus teammates, thank you and your wonderful staff and everything that the Community Foundation does. And every time I look at things of, partnerships, and the right kind of partnerships are the ones that Liberty Bank has with the Community Foundation. And those are the ones we need to continue to put our shoulders behind, because those are the ones that are 1 + 1 = 3. And we all know our communities need that now more than ever.
And you heard it from a banker, 1 + 1 = 3. So let's go be community kind. So thank you.
I was never that good in math. That's why I went into banking.
Yes, you were. So thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, Cynthia. You have a great day. Appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of Meaningful Mondays. At the Community Foundation of Middlesex County, we know that philanthropy matters and philanthropy works. Together, we support the arts, education, human services, animal welfare, the environment, heritage enhancements, and so much more by providing services, programs, and grants to our local nonprofits. We invite you to learn more and share your passion with us. Visit us at middlesexcountykcf.org or contact us at 860-347-0025. Together we can make great things happen.